All right, this is Kurtz here from C2E2 webcomics at C2E2 with the legendary Godfather himself, Scott Kurtz.
Thank you.
And for those that have never actually read PvP, which shame on you. I mean, this has been around for 10 years.
Yeah, God, 1998, so 12 years almost? No. Yeah, in May it'll be 12 years, I think. Cool. It's a long time.
It is a long time, and you've done so much for the webcomic community. You know, you're with webcomics.com. You have the Webcomic Weekly podcast, which is huge. It's amazing. It's entertaining and informative at the same time. But you know, you're coming into your own with you know, your new storyline with Max coming back. He was a kind of a favorite of mine as well. And I just love the fact that, you know, he can finally see Skull.
Yeah, it's when you've been doing a strip for 12 years, you have all these characters that kind of come in and out, and you don't want to just keep rehashing the same thing over and over. It's easy for your main characters to develop, but it's hard to develop the ancillary ones in the background. And I hadn't touched on Max for almost a year and a half, and I'm like, how am I going to bring him back in? And then I decided maybe he's been off having adventures, and that's why we haven't seen him. And then I can hint at all the amazing things he's done, and I didn't have to write about it at all. So it's been a lot of fun bringing that character back.
And so what else are you going to be doing with PvP? I mean, you have the books, you have the comics, you have the online content. You're always on the go. You're always trying something new and different. But what's going to be new and different this year?
Man, that's a good question. I think that's a big reason that I'm moving to Seattle. In about 2.5 weeks after this con, I'm moving to Seattle to take whatever the next step is in this whole endeavor. I'm going to be up where the Penny Arcade guys are and working out of their office, and just kind of let that energy hit me and see if I can't figure out what's next for PvP. I'm trying to figure it out. I want to expand more into doing kind of things parallel to PvP, like we're doing these animations for Penny Arcade TV, the Blamimations, that are really fun. And you know, I'm kind of interested in, like, all right, I have these PvP fans, what else do they like, and how else can I service them as customers and with content? But that's what this move to Seattle's about, is kind of discovering that. So your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, well, I know we'll be there every step of the way for that, for sure. And I mean, I've enjoyed your Ustreams where you do the angry drawing. I think you did one time of all that, and you're so active. You're so out there. It's amazing that you have so much energy for all the work that you put into it.
Well, I'm doing the work anyway. I'm passionate about it, so it's really easy with technology these days just to turn on a stream and just have people watch. So, you know, I try to be accessible as much as possible, and coming to the shows is a part of that. It's a double-edged sword sometimes, but you know, the double-edged means there's a good side too, and the good side is totally worth it. So it's fun to be accessible, and I think it's been a big key to my success. So,
well, C2E2, it's an inaugural convention. You know, first one here in Chicago proper. You know, what do you expect to get out of it?
Well, it doesn't feel like an inaugural con for me, because I know the guys that read pretty well. They run PAX. I was super impressed with the New York City Comic Con, and I think this is going to be essentially I guess the Midwest version of that. I really think it's going to be a big hit. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous space, and Chicago needs a good con.
Very true. Now, what do you? Sorry, I asked that question. In terms of fan reaction for this here, do you expect to be swamped, or because I know you always are, but
I don't know what to expect. I have never been to Chicago ever. I have never been to this city in my life, so I'm hoping there's a good turnout. I brought stuff accordingly, and I don't want to ship it back, so I hope everyone comes out. But yeah, we'll see. It's a new show, but I rarely make it out to this part of the country, so I'm hoping it's big. New York was the same way. Had a huge turnout in New York. So.
Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I mean, you're going to be swamped here, and I can't thank you enough for coming and for us to interview as you.
Yeah, so I've seen your logo and stuff online. So.
Yeah, we've been around a little bit, so not as much as you, but I hope to be there. So
good.
But thank you very much, Scott.
You.
I appreciate it.
Nice
Nice meeting you too. And